On the night my job came to an end, I stood in the kitchen, the unopened termination letter still folded in my coat pocket. My wife didn't ask to see it. She didn't probe into my feelings or the circumstances that led to this point. Instead, her eyes carried a sharp contempt, her lips curling as though she'd long expected my downfall. "Pack your belongings," she hissed. "This place isn't for failures." Then she spat at me, desecrating the life we'd built together, the vows she'd once held sacred. She walked out the door with her new companion, not sparing a backward glance. I didn't try to stop her. I didn't mention the enterprise I'd secretly grown under a pseudonym. I kept quiet about the coastal estate I owned outright, the offshore accounts, the investments that made my fortune far greater than she could ever fathom. I stood still, because in moments like these, silence wounds more deeply than words ever could. Once, I would have sacrificed everything for her. We were young when we first crossed paths, scraping by with little more than ambition and hope. She pushed me to aim higher, convinced me I was destined for extraordinary things. I believed her. Every late night at work, every missed meal, every compromise, I told myself it was for the future we'd share. Back then, her smiles were warm, her approval radiant as I toiled. She adorned herself with the small luxuries my overtime hours provided. Her kisses made me feel like her hero. But over time her warmth dimmed. Her encouragement turned to irritation. She stopped asking when I'd be home, stopped waiting up, stopped feigning interest. I attributed it to life's pressures, financial strain, or perhaps the void left by the child we never had. Now I see the truth. It was him, her lover, the parasite who'd been quietly usurping my place. The signs were there, though I chose to ignore them. Late-night texts she hid from me. Business trips that didn't match the receipts. The unfamiliar fragrance clinging to her clothes. I blinded myself to reality, deaf to the truth, until one night I followed her. She wasn't at her sister's or running errands. She was with him. I saw her melt into his arms, as she once had with me. Her laughter, the tilt of her head, the gentle kiss she pressed to his lips. It was a tenderness I hadn't known in years. That night, something inside me broke. But the pain didn't crush me. It sharpened my focus. The humiliation didn't unravel me. It reshaped me. I didn't yell, didn't confront, didn't beg. I started to plan. First, I reached out to a lawyer she didn't know I had. We reorganized my assets, secured my holdings, and transferred property deeds. All quietly, legally, impeccably. Next, I placed hidden cameras in the house and the car she thought belonged to her. Every stolen embrace, every whispered betrayal, every moment of infidelity was captured, preserved, undeniable. Then I set the stage. I let her believe I was crumbling, unemployed, helpless, defeated. She grew bolder in her cruelty, mocking me in tones she thought I couldn't hear. She stopped hiding her messages, stayed away for nights without excuse. I gave her the freedom to hang herself, and she tied the knot. The moment of truth came at a dinner party hosted by her lover, though she never called him that in public. To others he was just a friend. She invited me, parading me as a symbol of defeat, a cautionary tale. I sat quietly as she laughed too loudly at his jokes, touched his arm too freely. Then I stood, glass in hand, and addressed the guests. "Thank you all for coming," I said. "Tonight is unforgettable, the night I end my silence." I revealed a small projector I'd carried with me. With one click the room darkened, and the wall flickered with images. Her face, his face, their entwined bodies, their words caught by concealed microphones. The guests' gasps tore through the veil of polite smiles. She froze. He faltered. I didn't look at her. My eyes locked on him. "Enjoying my home, my wine, my hospitality? Don't get comfortable. The deeds are mine. You're out by morning." Then to her. "You wanted a man who could provide. Congratulations. You've just lost one who already did." The fallout was swift, ruthless, and public. Within hours, divorce papers were filed. The undeniable evidence of her infidelity left her with nothing. No house, no car, no alimony. Every asset traced back to me. Her lover's reputation crumbled. His business associates withdrew, unwilling to be stained by the scandal. His own wife. Yes, he was married, served him divorce papers as well. I watched their lives unravel, not with rage, but with a serenity they'd never grasp. Weeks later, she showed up at my seaside estate, barefoot, shattered. The proud woman who'd spat at me was gone, replaced by a trembling husk. "Please," she whispered. "I was wrong. We can fix this." I let her stand in the silence, just long enough to spark a glimmer of hope. Then I leaned in and said, calm as the ocean behind me, "You were right that night. Failures don't belong here." I closed the door. I seldom think of her now. The anger has faded, leaving only clarity. She sought to ruin me, but she buried herself instead. My business thrives. My reputation grows. The beach house is peaceful, filled only with the sound of waves and the occasional guest who values loyalty over greed. I lost a wife, yes, but I gained something far greater. The satisfaction of knowing she'll never escape the memory of the man she underestimated. That night I lost my job, I didn't lose what truly mattered. My wealth, concealed in plain sight, was beyond her comprehension. And now she lives every day haunted by the night. She scorned the man who orchestrated her downfall.